You responded with true, and I'm sorry to say it, but that was incorrect. This was actually false, and the only thing that was false was actually that you can see an atom with a light microscope. That's not true. You need a really powerful electron microscope to be able to see an atom, but the rest was actually true. So you weren't completely wrong, but just that you can't see an atom with a light microscope. You need to have an electron microscope. Right? So when you're ready, press this link to return to the original true or false video. You said true, and I'm sorry to say that was false, because it's actually some of the things I said were false. More specifically, the only thing that was actually false was me saying cells, because the correct word is subatomic particles and not cells. So you're actually, most of the stuff you thought was correct was actually correct. The only thing that was wrong was subatomic particles is a word for your electrons, protons, and neutrons, and not cells. Whereas the other stuff was all correct. For example, neutrons have a no charge, electrons have a negative charge, protons have a positive charge, and the neutrons, protons are in the nucleus, and the weights as well. So 1 atomic mass unit for protons and neutrons, and 0.001 less than 0.001 atomic mass unit for electrons. That was all correct. The only thing that was incorrect was just some subatomic particles not being called cells. But when you're ready, press this link to go back to the original true or false video. You said that the actual content I covered was false, which in this case you were sadly wrong. It's actually true, because in this case atomic number equals protons. That's correct. Your actual element is defined by the atomic number, and the atomic number equals the number of protons. So all that is correct. So when you're ready, press this link to go back to the next section of your true and false video. You said that this part of the video was true, and that was sadly false, because this model, which is the model where we have it orbiting, is not identical to the electrons hovering model. Right? They're actually two separate things, and this was one which was more of a misconception. This wasn't actually the way it actually is. It's more of a simplification of the whole process, whereas the electron cloud model, where electrons are just kind of zipping around, zooming around, is a more realistic representation, right? So they're not the same thing. They're actually quite different. But the other one, the orbiting model, is more commonly used, but the electron cloud model is more realistic. But the part of the neutrons, protons being roughly the size of a football, compared to a soccer field being the whole atom, and electron being like smaller than a golf ball, that was correct. So that was correct. Just the only thing that was wrong was that the two models were identical. That was incorrect. So when you're ready, press this button to go back to the original true or false video.